Morning, Harlan. Smell that coffee? Feels like it might keep a man alive through a week-long dust storm. Pour me a cup, will you? Strong as a mule kick.
Sheriff, you sure know how to start a morning. Coming right up. You're just in time. Got some news that might perk you up as much as that brew.
Oh, and what sort of news could beat a good cup of coffee?
There's a stranger in town, dressed finer than a banker in St. Louis, all shiny boots and press coat. Claims he's got a gold investment opportunity.
Gold investment? In Greenhorn's Pass? This ain't exactly Wall Street, Harlan. Folks here still squabble over the price of a dozen eggs. You telling me some fancy strangers found a way to mine fools instead of gold?
I thought the same, but he looks legitimate. Speaks smooth, confidence in spades, speaks like one of them numbers men from back east. The kind of man that makes you think twice before saying no. He says he'll hold a meeting tonight at the town hall, talk about how we can grow our wealth, make our gold work for us instead of us working for it.
Gold working for folks. Now I've heard everything. Seems like half the town would jump at that just to keep their hands clean.
That's the tricky part. Folks are already talking about it. Some curious, some skeptical. Mostly curious. He's showing up with papers, charts, and claims he's an agent for some finance company from St. Louis. Says he's operating under a federal charter. Legit on paper, at least.
Federal charter sounds fancy, but so did a snake oil salesman last spring. And you know how that turned out.
True enough, Sheriff, but I gotta say, he carries himself like a man who knows his thing and folks are listening. Might be worth a look just to make sure we're not getting played.
All right, Harlan, guess I'll see this meeting for myself tonight. Can't let half the town go off investing in something that smells like trouble. And besides, curiosity's a dangerous thing for a man like me if I don't see what's going on firsthand.
That's what I like to hear, Sheriff. You go check it out. Just keep your eyes open and your hand on your sidearm just in case.
Don't worry about me, Harlan. I'll be polite for now.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of Greenhorn's Pass. My name is Silas Vane, licensed financial agent of the Continental Finance Company of St. Louis, operating proudly under a federal charter. Now, I didn't come here to sell you snake oil or miracle tonics. I came with a proposition, one that can make your gold work for you. As you all know, Greenhorn's Pass is bursting with gold since the rush began. Nuggets are traded faster than poker chips at Ruby's Saloon. But what happens when there's too much gold in circulation? Prices rise. Your gold buys you less than it did yesterday. That, my friends, is inflation, the silent thief of value.
You mean to tell us our gold's losing worth 'cause there's too much of it floating around town?
Precisely, sir. You could fill a wagon with gold, but if everyone else does the same, that wagon won't buy you a new one. Each of you may contribute a share, small or large, of your gold. That gold is then lent to reputable traders, freight companies, and mining operations across the region. They pay us interest on those loans, and that interest becomes your profit.
So we give you our gold and you lend it out? How do we get our cut?
Each investor receives yearly dividends, a portion of the profits earned from those loans. Here's an example. Say you invest 10 ounces of gold at a return of 8%. You'd earn almost an ounce without ever lifting a pick or pan again.
Sounds like easy money, don't it?
Mr. Vane, what if one of those traders you lend to don't pay back?
A fine question, ma'am. Our ventures are insured and backed by reputable banks in St. Louis and Kansas City. Even if a borrower fails, your gold remains protected. Continental Finance doesn't gamble, it calculates.
Mr. Vane, what's in it for you then? Nobody runs a venture like this out of kindness.
Fair question, sir. My company takes a small administrative fee, as is customary, 3% of net profits. I only succeed when you do. My fortune is tied to yours. Now, some of you may be wondering, why Greenhorn's Pass? Why come all the way from St. Louis? This pool changes that. You'll become more than diggers. You'll be investors, partners in prosperity.
How do we know it's real? You got papers to prove all this?
Right here, chartered under the authority of the state of Missouri, witnessed by notary and guaranteed by Continental Finance. My credentials are open for anyone to inspect.
Told you he was the real deal.
But heed this, the pool has a limit. Once we reach capacity, no further investors will be accepted. That ensures stability and protects all participants from dilution.
How much the minimum to join?
Just 2 ounces to begin. I want every hard-working soul to have a chance.
2 ounces? Hell, I could dig that before supper. Think I might sign on tonight.
Well, Dusty, that's a mighty fine jacket you've got there. Treating yourself, I see.
Morning, Sheriff. Yeah, figured I'd celebrate a little. Turns out that gold I put in Silas Vane's pool last night already started earning dividends. Enough to snag a jacket and still have some left for supper.
Dividends, huh? So he really is paying people out already?
That's what I'm telling you. I didn't believe it at first neither, but here it is. Gold coming back to me right from the pool.
I'll admit that's a little convincing. Maybe there's more method than trickery here, but I'm still wary. First impressions can be tricky.
Gentlemen, it seems this gold pool is already stirring quite a bit of talk around town. Sheriff Jed, Dusty, I'll admit I was skeptical last night, but here's the reasoning. Greenhorn's Pass is experiencing rapid gold inflation. Prices of everyday goods have climbed faster than wages. That's a textbook case of too much gold chasing too few goods. Silas's pool effectively removes gold from circulation, lending it to vetted ventures at interest. That reduces local liquidity temporarily, easing inflation.
So it's not just lucky payouts, it actually fixes the problem?
Not instantly, Dusty. But mathematically, if the pool absorbs a sufficient portion of circulating gold, price growth slows, stabilizing the economy. The early dividends are proof of concept. The system works as designed.
Aha, when you put it like that, it makes sense. I won't say I'm convinced yet, but I see there's a method to this beyond mere promises.
Sheriff, Dusty, you gotta hear this. The queue at Silas's room is insane. I just joined, put 6 nuggets in the pool. People are lining up out the door, even folks I didn't expect. The shopkeepers, the bartender, even the preacher. They're signing up.
You poured 6 nuggets? That's a big chunk.
Sure did. And he gave me the receipt with all the terms. Monthly dividends, limits on the pool, insured investments, everything's in writing. I checked every line.
Seems like he's thought of everything. No loopholes, no vagueness.
None. He explained the lending operations, interest rates, and even how the pool will absorb inflation from too much gold in circulation. I've never seen a plan this detailed, Sheriff. He's not just handing out gold. He's managing it smart.
Told you, Sheriff. Methodical, man, not a crook in sight.
Exactly. I analyzed the numbers last night. Even if we assume conservative loan returns, the projected dividends line up with the actual payouts today. I went from skeptic to grounded optimist. The risk is low compared to what we gain.
All right, I'll admit, that's persuasive. I'm not saying I trust him blindly yet, but the logic checks out. Maybe it's time I consider putting a little of my own gold in the pool.
That's the spirit, Sheriff. Half the town's already in. Don't wait too long or you'll be shut out.
And don't forget, there's a cap. Once he hits capacity, no more investments. I just hope I'm not too late to earn my first big dividend.
Well, reckon it's time I put my hat in the ring. If this gold pool's truly what he claims, maybe I've been too slow to catch on. Morning, son. I'm looking for Mr. Silas Vane. Tall fella, sharp suit, slick tongue. You know the type. He's still lodged here?
Mr. Vane! Well, Sheriff, he was here, yes, sir, but he checked out near 3 hours past. Paid his dues in full, too. Room's already turned over.
Checked out, you say? Did he leave any word on where he was headed?
As a matter of fact, yes. Told me straight he was heading to the saloon. Said he had some business to tend to. Looked to be in quite the hurry.
The saloon, huh? Guess I'll go see what kind of business that was.
Well, if it ain't the law himself, Sheriff Jed, what brings you here this fine afternoon? You look like a man chasing more than whiskey.
I'm looking for a man by the name of Silas Vane. Word is he was heading this way.
Silas Vane? Can't say I've seen him set foot in my place, Sheriff, though I've heard plenty of his name tossed around lately. Seems he's got half the town starry-eyed.
Sheriff, we saw that fella earlier this morning. Weren't no saloon he was heading to. He was making his way out toward the old creek road near Gordon Creed's claim.
He had a big bag slung over his shoulder. Heavy one by the look of it. Said something about collecting the last investment.
Much obliged, boys. Creed, we need to talk.
Well, howdy, Sheriff. You're a sight unexpected. What brings you out my way?
Silas Vane. I'm told he was here, that he paid you a visit not long ago.
That he did. Came round before noon. Said he'd reached his limit, that the gold pool was full to the brim. Told me he was fixing to take it east to St. Louis, where the company offices are. Said that's where the lending and insuring gets handled proper.
East, huh? With half the town's gold in tow? And you just handed yours over too?
Now, hold on, Sheriff. He showed me papers, stamped and signed. Said he was bound to deliver it to the Continental Finance Company. Lend it out to business ventures, earning good interest for all involved. He made it sound straight and square.
Straight and square, or smooth and slick? Creed, that man's likely halfway to the horizon by now with every last nugget this town owns.
Sheriff, I swear on my claim, I had no part in no theft. I believed him honest. Said he'd return by year's end with dividends to pay. Maybe you're misjudging him.
I'll tell you what I'm judging, Creed. I'm judging that this whole gold pool was a pack of fancy words meant to part decent folks from their hard-dug gold. And you, whether you knew it or not, just helped him load the last haul.
Sheriff, I ain't no accomplice. I gave him my trust same as the others. The man spoke like he'd been born to the business world. He said St. Louis was his next stop, to deposit the gold with his firm. You'll see, Sheriff. He'll be back.
I'll be seeing something, Creed, whether it's Silas coming back with dividends or me riding out to drag him back in irons. I'll be talking to the mayor about this. Till then, Creed, you best stay close to your claim. And if Vane does return, you tell him the sheriff's waiting.